Welcome on in. Apologies for the technical difficulties getting up and started in the first inning here. We've got some PSCL action. A Southern Division matchup between the Rush and MLB DC China. Right now we're in the top of the first inning, and it's 1-0 Rush. Hunter Anderson led off with a single, stole third base. Then after two strikeouts, Daniel Quadras hit a RBI double down the left field line and scored Anderson from third base. Santiago Duarte walked. And now we've got Christian Angulo. Angulo facing off against Yuo Yan for MLB DC China. And it's one of the more strange arsenals you'll see out here in the PSCL. Slider, knuckleball, cutter. That ball mishandled by Ching Kwong. And it's 1-1 right now. Thank you for joining in. Stephen Buxton joined by EJ Sanchez. It's game 1 of 2 so far today for the PSCL. Again, Rush against MLB DC China. Rush coming in second place in the Southern Division. And MLB China working on getting back on the winning ways. 2-9 so far this year. After a couple really tough, close losses. Or 2-10, I'm sorry. And the Rush coming in at 7-4, second place in the Southern Division. 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. Christian Angulo playing center field today. And for the Rush, their lineup looks like this. Foul ball down left field line. Hunter Anderson led off. He's DH. Danny Martinez at second. Will Dayton in left. Daniel Quadras at catcher. That'll round out the top 4. Santiago Duarte at first. Christian Angulo in center. Nehemiah House in right field. 5 through 6 and 8, 9, 10. Alan Serna, Alec Bautista, Nathan Cunningham. 2-2 pitch to Duarte, fouled off the right field line. And for MLB China, they've had a couple close games coming off a really tough loss to the A's where for a minute it looked like everything started to click. And for them, the pitching's been there for the most part, but it's getting adjusted to the American hitting. It's a different arsenal. It's different approaches than they see in China. So getting over and getting adjusted to the American hitting is really the biggest challenge. And right here, some of that American hitting trying to extend an inning. 3-2 pitch. Outside ball 4. Bases are loaded for Nehemiah House. Daniel Quadras at third. Santiago Duarte at second. Christian Angulo at first. And we've got a meeting on the mound with Nehemiah House coming up. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the first. Quick meeting on the mound. Everyone's going back their separate ways. And for Nehemiah House out of Laney College, it's been a tough go so far. 125 average on the year. Looking for his first hit since June 19th against the Blue Sox. And one right here could possibly break this game open in the first. First pitch upstairs.
Yeah, Steven, this is an example of what the Rush have done throughout the whole season. They've gotten out to big leads, and they've allowed their pitchers to coast from there.
1-0 pitch, catches the zone, strike 1. 1-1, 2 outs here in the top of the first. Again, Rush haven't taken the field yet. Already up 1-0, and it could be more. 1-1 pitch, chopper to third base, and he's going to take the force out right there. Yuo Yan works out of the bases loaded jam, and we'll be back for the bottom of the first here on the PSCL Broadcast Network.
We just got our best ever ratings from U.S. News and World Report. We're the #1 hospital in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. High performing in 17 common procedures from joint replacements to heart attack care. And for the first time, national ranking as high performing in 3 adult specialties. We're proud of these ratings, but what matters most, as always, is how we rate with you. Learn more at eisenhowerhealth.org/awards.
There's something winning in the agua. Catch all the action at 360 Sports at Agua Caliente Casinos. Watch your favorite teams on our giant wraparound screens. See live scores on the LED sports ticker. Win big with our bar top games and enjoy great twists on bar food favorites. And with 3 premier casino locations, 360 Sports is the ultimate fan experience. For more information, visit aguacalientecasinos.com.
Whenever you find yourself hungry for something real, simple, and true, we're here for you.
That's what a hamburger's all about.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $29.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
One nothing ball game here in the bottom of the first. MLB DC China coming up down 1, and for Anthony Sanchez and the Rush, it was a good first inning, but stranded the bases loaded. Rush coming in with Anthony Sanchez on the mound, and they're facing off against MLB DC China. Leading off, Hunshin. And then their lineup looks like this. Pen Yi Zhan, Zhao Luan, Liu Chung Shun, the first 4 batters. First pitch to Hunshin fouled off the net. Owen Stevenson batting 5th. Won Ku Yen, Wang Yu Tun, Liu Shua, Young Chin Kwang, and Lin The Min rounding it out for the bottom 6. A 1 pitch in the dirt. And for the Rush, their defensive alignment, Danny Martinez playing second, Will Dayton in left field, Daniel Cuadras catching, Santiago Duarte at first base, Christian Angulo playing center field, Nehemiah House in right, Alec Bautista at third base, and Nathan Cunningham playing short. EJ, you've seen a lot of Anthony Sanchez lately. What can we expect from him?
Well, he's a 6'2 frame and a left-hander, so obviously that makes things difficult to begin with. But you're talking about a fastball that'll get into the mid-80s, and he tunnels it really well with a curveball that goes straight over the top, makes it really tough for opposing hitters. Had 11 strikeouts his last time out and had a very good showcase in our uncommitted game just a few days ago.
2-2 pitch. Flown up into short right field, going after it. That's Angulo ranging from center. He'll call it off and get the first out of the inning.
And even though it starts off with an out, I did like the approach to begin this one, Steven, because you have to be aggressive when you're facing a pitcher like this. If you allow him to get to that curveball with 2 strikes, you're just putting yourself in a hole. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the rest of DC China go along with that same approach.
And for DC China, again, it's been the hitting that's been what's struggled so far this season. They've had some good performances by pitchers, but most notably, their last outing against the A's, their starter was outstanding through 4, just 1 over the minimum, and then a 5th inning out of really nightmares where it all fell off, and the A's managed to put up 15 against MLB DC China. 0-2 pitch from Anthony Sanchez to Penny Zon. That goes behind him, almost hits him.
I think part of the cons of that, Steven, is that it's not his usual arm slot. He's usually very typical over-the-top delivery, and that time he kind of dropped down towards his hip and delivered it there, so he pulled his body all the way across. Not something we've seen from Sanchez.
1-2 pitch from Sanchez. Penny Zon fouls that one back off the net. And it could be, I mean, I'm not going to speculate, but there could be a slight, contribution from him pitching in the uncommitted game, but that was just a short outing, so maybe it's just tried to throw him off a little there as that one's chopped down the third base line.
Well, that's what you're out here to do. You're out here to try new things, and Sanchez has shown some success already with the arsenal that he does have. So if he's able to, with 2 strikes, go to a different arm slot, it could just mean essentially a new pitch, even though it's still just a fastball. Going out from another arm slot just throws another look at a hitter.
Anthony Sanchez up 1-2 against Penny Zon. Off the end of the bat, that's going to go foul.
It's a really good at-bat right now from Zon because not only has he covered fastballs in the outside half, but he's also covered some breaking pitches and just shows that he's seeing the ball really well out of Sanchez's hand.
And for Anthony Sanchez, it's his 3rd start of the year, and that one's chopped down to short. Slow roller. Throw down to first, and he's going to get it in time. Slow roller down to second base. Santiago Duarte coming over from first, had to pick it up, shovel it over to Sanchez, who did a good job getting down the line. 2 outs here in the first inning.
I think that's where Duarte profiles at his next stop. He's had a little bit of a tough day in the uncommitted game at third, but he's as solid as they come at first. And when you have a bat that he has, there's the old adage that if you hit, you don't sit.
First pitch in there, or just misses for a ball. And Anthony Sanchez, it's his 3rd start. He's out of Viterbo University, and it's been nothing but success so far in the PSCL. 2-0 now. He's got a 1.64 ERA through 3 starts. Last one against the Blue Sox. Went 6 innings, just allowed 1 run. Struck out 11. 2-0 pitch. Catches the corner, strike one. And we don't see that a ton in the PSCL. You'll see a lot of the times you either get the length or the strikeouts. You don't get both. And for Anthony Sanchez, he's gotten both. He struck out 11 last time, 8 in his first start. He's got none here, and that one's a single into right field.
Taking a little bit off, and even though DC China, that's only their first hit, they've taken some good swings off of Sanchez. This is what we're kind of getting accustomed to seeing. It takes them a week to start seeing these teams 1 or 2 times through, but they're starting to pick it up. They had a 1-1 game going into the 7th against the Lumberjacks yesterday, one of the favorites to repeat as PSCL champions. So they're starting to hold their own as they've embarked on this 2nd week of the season.
Leo Chung Shun coming up. He's playing third base today with a runner on. Grounded at first. He'll take it there. No big deal. Four batters come up in the first inning, and 3 outs. Anthony Sanchez puts up a 0 after 3 unassisted. We'll be right back for top of the 2nd.
Desert Air started right here in the Coachella Valley in 1954, and we've been welcoming customers to our family ever since. With nearly 70 years of proven trust, dependability, and experience, we've got the AC and heating expertise to help you all year round. Plus, our factory-trained technicians provide well-informed maintenance, repairs, and installation, so you get our industry-best products with industry-best service. Contact our family at Desert Air. We'll make sure you live comfortably, always.
Like a family setting, we come and we get into conversation, and it's comfortable here is what I guess I'll say. It's comfortable.
The hot cocoa has whipped cream and sprinkles in the whipped cream in the hot cocoa.
Very family oriented. They cater to the kids. They got the coloring books and crayons, and they have kid-sized stuff about almost for everything that you would want. So young and old, everybody can enjoy it.
It's the best.
Made from scratch memories. Elmer's.
How do you define adventure? Riding the world's largest rotating tram car? Taking in SoCal's awe-inspiring views? Exploring over 50 miles?
Welcome back. Top of the second inning here in Palm Springs. Stephen Buxton, EJ Sanchez joining you on some PSCL Baseball Network action. Rush against MLB China DC, and Rush up 1-0 after sending 6 to the plate their first time around. Alan Serna leads it off and swings right through a fastball there. Again, Yugo Yan throws a fastball, slider, knuckleball, cutter. Haven't seen a ton of that type of arsenal here in the PSCL. With a 1-0 count, kicks and fires, ball in the dirt, ball 1. And Yugo Yan, he hasn't pitched so far this season, but he's been playing the infield, and he's been hitting well. 333 average so far through a couple games. 1-1 pitch, slow roller, gets through the hole there into right field. Alan Serna leads things off with a single.
That pitch goes right into Serna's so-called happy zone. They're low and inside. When with lefties, it's a lot easier for them to just drop the barrel of the bat down. He didn't hit it all too hard, but if you're able to get a barrel to something, you give yourself, a fighter's chance, and it still squeaks into the infield. And the Rush doing, once again, what they gotten accustomed to doing, scoring early and often, and getting the leadoff man on here is a huge spot for them.
And it feels like that's been the difference between success and a lot of the PSCL players, and we got a pinch runner there at first. We'll get you the name and number, but whether it's the PSCL players or power players, just being able to take those at-bats and just work with what you get, not trying to do too much with the pitch, and basically just send it back where it came from, get the line drive hits. And first pitch to Alec Bautista gets the zone. It's strike 1.
If you're a good enough hitter, the extra base hits will come. I mean, we just saw one from Quadras last inning, but what you have to focus on is using the big part of the field, and that is really where you're going to start to backspin some baseballs, and that's where your power is going to start to come from.
0-1 pitch, chopper to third base. This could be 2, and stumbles there. Throw down to second was in time, got it at first too. Quick 5-4-3 double play for MLB DC China, and we've got 2 outs and no on.
It just shows to the improvement again that we've seen. They came into the first week not playing the crispest defense they possibly could have, but that's a really good turn, falling away on the throw and then still having a good exchange at second.
First pitch to the 10 batter, Nathan Cunningham. Outside, it's ball 1, and it's really awkward double play right there again. Chung Shun looked like he had more than enough time, kind of rushed the throw and almost fell over. I couldn't tell for a second if he got the throw off, and look up and they're thrown down to the first base, and they got it in time. I mean, able to save it right there when it looked like he almost could have got no one out. 2-0 pitch. Fouled back towards us.
So what's so difficult about that, Steven, with Shun is that, yes, you're right, he was stumbling a little bit because he has to reach over to get that ball and get it on the short hop. That's where you start to see those, skip throws that you've seen from Alex Bregman in the big leagues. He doesn't like to switch his momentum, and that's why he just stays down low. So Shun still does a good job of staying upright.
2-1 pitch, short chopper to first, gets under Chung Shun's glove into left field. Another single for the Rush, and we've got 1 on, 2 outs. Hunter Anderson coming up again.
And right as we're talking about trying to get something on the short hop, Shun not able to do it on that last play. And this is a little bit tougher player than the one they turned the double play on, just about 6 inches farther than he had it the last time. Stuff's starting to find some holes for the Rush, even though they only have 1 run to show for it.
Hunter Anderson with 2 outs, 1 on. He singled in the first, stole third. Advanced to second on a wild pitch. First pitch to him. Outside ball 1. For Anderson, he played in that uncommitted game and drives that one out into short center field. That's going to fall down for another hit. Back-to-back singles, and Danny Martinez coming up with a couple ducks on the pond.
They're just starting to find some fastballs in the heart of the zone. This one may run just a little bit inside, but he does a good job of just keeping his hands in. Once again, if you're trying to get pull happy with some of these pitches, you're not going to have much success, and the ball's going to go right on the handle of your bat. Staying through it, a little inside-out swing never hurt anybody, and it leads to another hit. Anderson being 2 for 2, just continuing what he has done in his first 2 weeks.
Danny Martinez out of College of the Desert. Chopper up the middle, that gets through for a hit. Coming around is the pinch runner. He's going to score. That was number 28. Looking for the number on that one. It was
Cunningham.
Nathan Cunningham. Cunningham came around to score after his single. Another single by Hunter Anderson. He's at second base now, and Danny Martinez with the third single in a row. It's 2-0 Rush now, and Will Dayton coming up. He struck out in the first inning. First pitch to Dayton. Off the end of the bat, down the left field line into the bullpen.
The reason why Jan got into a little bit of trouble is that it's easy to relax with 2 outs, but you can't do it against the potent lineup and still leave some pitches in the heart of the play, and they've taken advantage of a couple of mistakes.
Dan watches ball one up. It's a 1-1 count. Dan he's in the California post-grad lead, ran by a lot of the guys in the PSCL right now. Watch a strike 2 float in there. That could have been the knuckleball. 65, 819 on the spin rate. EJ, we haven't seen that before.
No, but you never know what you're going to see when you come up here and put yourself in front of some PSCL baseball.
Will Dayton with the bases loaded, or with 2 on right now. After 3 straight singles, he's got a 1-2 count. Again, the Rush up 2-0. They've hit 3 straight singles after Alec Bautista grounded into a double play. So 3 straight 2-out hits. 1-2 pitch. Floater into short left field. Ranging over to that is Yizon. He's going to haul it in. 3rd out of the inning. But not before the Rush put another run on the board. They're going out up 2-0. Bottom of the 2nd, here we come.
Outdoor living in the Coachella Valley is spectacular, and Tessera is the premier builder of outdoor living spaces in the desert. Nobody does it better than Tessera. From one end of this valley to the other, from Palm Springs to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, to Indio and La Quinta. For 35 years, we've created the ultimate in outdoor living, landscaping, pools, and patios, so you and your family can enjoy each other. Live well. Live Tessera.
Whether you're building, landscaping, renovating, refreshing, or simply researching, rent the right size tools for your size jobs. In store, online, or in-app at Sunbelt Rentals, where tools rule.
Shopping for car insurance is confusing. Holy cow.
Great. Now we have a cow in our kitchen. Why did you say that?
Because I don't know what coverage to choose.
So just say the State Farm jingle. A State Farm agent can go over all your options with you and help choose coverage that meets your needs. Dude, cow, could you move?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back. 2-0 ball game here in MLB DC China. Coming up for the top of the 2nd inning, or bottom of the 2nd. Facing off against Anthony Sanchez and the Rush. Sanchez faced 4 hitters in the 1st inning. A single to Zhao Luan was the only damage. First pitch to Owen Stevenson. Outside ball 1. And for MLB DC China, they're looking to string together some wins. It's not quite yet dire situation, but it's getting close. Again, coming in 2-10 so far coming into the game. 7 games back. They're 2-4 away. 0-6 at home, though. Still looking for that elusive home win as that second ball gets away from Anthony Sanchez there. 2-1 count. Nobody on. No outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Again, Stephen Buxton, E.J. Sanchez joining you here today. Game 1 of 2. Another PSCL doubleheader today. Owen Stevenson watches ball 3 outside.
Stevenson taking a really good at-bat, and although he hasn't been crisp with the fastball yet, Sanchez still trying to find ways to utilize his fastball on both sides of the plate.
3-1 pitch, fouled off back of the net. Full count, and for MLB DC China, the last couple games, it seemed like they've been either down in the count early, able to work some long at-bats, or they've gone ahead early, and either way, they've ended up with a lot of full counts like they just did here, and Stevenson walks.
Yeah, it just hasn't been a crisp outing thus far, even though he has given up no hits, but 2 walks already for Sanchez. You have to applaud MLB DC China. They haven't expanded their zone a ton, and they're still staying within, a good approach. They're putting some good swings on baseballs that Rush have just made some plays behind them. I think this will be a lot closer than we realize as the game progresses, Steven.
Won Ku Yen playing center field today. His first at-bat, watches strike 1. One of really many DC China players who looking to get things going offensively. Coming into the game, hitting 133. Hasn't had a hit in his last 4 games. And watches ball 1 right there.
Sanchez's command right now could be hindered by he's trying out some new things. We mentioned in the first that he dropped down and tried to go sidearm, and that was an exaggerated leg kick, almost to deke the runner at first.
1-1 pitch outside, and it's almost knowing coming into this game, you're going against the offense that's struggling. They're trying to find it. Maybe he's thinking maybe this is the time to try out new things. And again, the Rush's defense has been good so far. Overall, the team has been great. 2-1 pitch catches the zone. So he's got all the confidence in the world coming into this game. I mean, they're second place so far, just behind the Lumberjacks. And the Lumberjacks, they might be giving up that title soon. They've lost a few in a row. 2-2 pitch from Sanchez. Won Ku Yen gets struck out looking. Anthony Sanchez, first K of the day.
He ramps it up to 83, and this is what we're accustomed to seeing, using those off-speed pitches to set up a fastball later in the count. And it depends on which batter you want, but when you're switching up your looks like that, it makes it even harder for a lineup to try to get a sense of the timing, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Sanchez.
Perfect pitch right there. Fastball just off the play. Maybe caught the zone, and good frame job by Quadras back there as another fastball in there for a strike against Wong Yu-Tun. He's down 0-1 right now with 1 out. 1 out, Owen Stevenson on first base after the leadoff walk. Wong Yu-Tun trying to put up a run for DC China right now. They're down 2-0 against the Rush, and Sanchez throws back to Stevenson at first, and he's back there in time. Wong Yu-Tun watches ball 1 outside.
Tun's still looking for his first hit since June 16th, but you're starting to see the adjustment just in the swings that MLB DC China is taking. They're not intimidated, and they're not your prototypical on-your-heel swings. They are still going in against one of the best pitchers in the PSCL.
Southpaw for the Rush. Throws back down to first, and again, he's been fantastic so far this year. Again, ERA under 2 right now. In the mid-ones right now with a 1-1 count, 1 on, 1 out. Pitch to Wong Yu-Tun, catches the outside corner. Strike 2. And even though he hasn't been all that crisp this morning, he's still been able to find the zone. He's still been able to stay around it. And MLB China, through an inning in the third, hasn't really taken their A swing yet.
Well, Steven, you've watched enough baseball that sometimes you roll out there, you do your entire warm-up routine correctly, and you just don't have your ace stuff. And, that's really the separator with a lot of pitchers, is still finding a way to get things done when you do not have your ace stuff.
2-2 pitch. Stevenson going, throw down to second. Way late. If Stevenson didn't hold up there, he would have been there with a lot of time to go, but kind of chopped the steps going into second, standing up, and what looked like a late throw by Quadras made it closer than it should have. We've got 2 outs after Wong Yu-Tun struck out. Liu Shua up with a runner on and 2 outs. Owen Stevenson, big lead at second. Fastball blew it by him there.
Another one of the two-way players that we've seen here in the PSCL. Also made 2 appearances on the mound, so that's what one of the fun parts about being out here in the desert, Stevens. You're getting to see everybody showcase what they can do on both sides of the game.
0-1 pitch. Outside, can't get the corner there, ball 1. And yeah, you look around, and whether or not it's really their future to go, whether it's pitching or hitting, a lot of these guys are giving both a shot, and some of them you expected them to do better at hitting, and it's not the case. They're absolutely dealing on the mound, and others, they're not really finding it on the mound, but you look at that slash line, and it looks like 300, 400, 500, and they're just tearing the cover off the ball. Right now, Liu Shua hasn't been able to do that. 143 average coming into the game, and he's down 1-2. With 2 outs, runner in scoring position, Owen Stevenson on second base against Anthony Sanchez, one of the best the PSCL has to offer. Pitch is outside, 2-2.
He's debuting a couple of more, not debuting per se, but he's utilizing a lot more off-speed pitches than we're used to seeing. Not sure if that's a scouting report thing, but whenever he's leading with his fastball, it's usually when you see the most success from Anthony.
2-2 pitch from Sanchez. Swung on and missed, and Sanchez strikes out the side here in the second inning. On to the third. We'll be right back.
Two locations with something for everyone. Stuffed Pizza Bar and Grill.
Building your business is no small undertaking, and you need the right team by your side. Whether you're just getting started or expanding nationwide, Pacific Premier Bank is here to support your business every step of the way. As your trusted banking partner, we can help guide you down the right path with customized solutions designed for your business. We'll help you achieve the success you deserve. Pacific Premier Bank. Let's build your future together.
2-0 ball game here in the top of the third, and MLB DC China against the Rush. Rush coming up to hit, and they'll see a new man on the mound. Seung-Ja Chi coming in, replacing Yuo Yan. Yuo Yan went 2 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and as of right now, he's on track for the loss. He'll face off against 4, 5, and 6 for the Rush. Daniel Quadras coming up. RBI double in the first inning. First run on the board for the Rush. Hoping to continue things because for the Rush, it's been, for the most part this year, smooth sailing. They've had one of the better offenses in the PSCL. Slow roller to second base, throw down to first, shovel it right there, and we've got 1 pitch, 1 out.
Couldn't start much better if your song maybe trying to take advantage of maybe the early swings that we've seen from the Rush. And when you're aggressive like that as an offense, you have to live by it and die by it. And this time it's a first pitch swing that just goes off the end of the bat and makes it for an easy play at second.
Santiago Duarte, and we were talking about the two-way player discussion last inning. Here's another one. Duarte, things haven't gone so well on the mound, 6.43 ERA, but again, couldn't have gone better at the plate. Hitting well over 400 and OPS pushing 1,200. And right now he's ahead 1-0 with a walk in the first. One-0 pitch. Fastball catches the zone.
And now on the backfield, a game that has a lot of interest around the building here in Palm Springs. 2-1 Lumberjacks over the Blue Sox in the top of the 5th. It's a game that could come back and rear its head and some playoff implications down the line.
Face-off between the 2 first-place teams in the PSCL, and for the Lumberjacks, they've been stumbling lately, but the Blue Sox have just steamrolled through the PSCL so far. 2-1 pitch. Slow roller to short. Bobbles it there. Has to make it quick here. Throw down not in time and gets past first base. Santiago Duarte contend with just 1. He's not going to try for 2, but an E6 for MLB DC China, and they've got 1 out, and Christian Angulo coming up.
Maybe an example of looking up before you actually get to make the throw. Once you start to see it into your glove, a lot of guys will just start their motion, but you need to secure that ball first, and that was an example of how not to do it. An unfortunate error there for China.
First pitch to Angulo, inside, strike 1, and it was going to be a tough play anyways. Duarte was absolutely sprinting down the line, and after you bobble it right there, you just can't make that throwing error. 0-1 pitch, skied up, and that's going to go well foul. 0-2 count, 1 out. Runner on first. Here in the top of the 3rd inning. Christian Angulo walked in the 1st inning. Another College of the Desert guy. And skies that one way up down the right field line. Campering under it is Yuo Tun. And he'll take that easy 2nd out.
Song has to be extremely careful in this situation. You get 2 quick outs, you should have 3, but now this is where the Rush have done their thing. All of their hits, or 4 out of the 5 I should say, have come with 2 outs. And in the 1st inning you get the RBI double from Quadras, and last inning you allow the first 3 after the first 2 outs are recorded. So this is dangerous territory, but you've gotten off to a good start.
First pitch to Bautista, or to Nehemiah House. Catches the zone. It's strike 1, 2 outs. 0-1 count. House grounded out to 3rd in the 1st inning. And he's got Santiago Duarte at first. Breaking ball floats in there. Can't find the zone. It's 1-1.
A breaking pitch in the low 60s and a fastball in the low to mid 70s. It creates a nice little tunnel here for Song, but he's got to be able to land it at least on that outside corner.
1-1 pitch. Inside on House, who had to back up on it a little bit. Fastball there at 76. 2-1 pitch. Blows it by him. Fastball up in the zone. Can't catch up to it. House looking for the breaking ball right there. 2-2, 2 outs. Runner on first against Santiago Duarte. Reached on the air. Chopper right up the middle and bobbled at short. Can't make the play. Hun Shin couldn't corral it in. Almost could have just grabbed the ball and stepped on second base, but infield single for Nehemiah House. He's got 2 on. Alan Serna coming up.
This is a tough play not only because you have to range to your backside, but also it takes an awkward hop off of the mound. And when you see a ball that goes off of the mound like that, Steven, you don't know whether to play. It's almost like the yellow ball that you had when you were a kid that you threw against the wall and it would take unpredictable hops. That's what you get when it goes off the mound, and that's really all you can do in that situation is knock it down and play for your next out.
2 outs, 2 on. Alan Serna up, and first pitch gets away almost. Chin Kwong does a good job to keep it in front of him. Outside fastball, it's ball 1. Alan Serna had a single in the second inning. Got gunned down at second with the double play, and he gets under that one. High fly ball down the first base line, and Uton's going to take that one. It's 3 outs here, going into the bottom of the third inning. Rush up 2-0. Welcome back. Bottom of the third inning here. PSCL doubleheader. Rush against MLB China DC. And for the Rush, they scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Couldn't put anything up in the third. And DC China, they're sending the bottom of the lineup up. Young Chin Kwong, backstop for them, leading things off. Against Anthony Sanchez, who's been great so far, and fastball gets right by him there. Under it, fouls it back.
Young still looking for his first hit since stepping onto the field here in Palm Springs. It got in just a little bit late, and one of the added players that came in about a week after things got going here in the desert. So he's still looking to get on. He's walked a couple of times. He's reached. Now it's all time for him to put it together.
Ball 1 inside. It's a 1-1 count. Sanchez kicks and deals, and now it's fouled off the net, 1-2. One-two pitch. No one on, no one out. Chin Kwong, the leadoff batter, watches ball 2. Again, Stephen Buxton, EJ Sanchez joining you here on a beautiful summer morning here in Palm Springs. 1-2 pitch, or 2-2 pitch outside. It's 3-2. Full count, no one on, no one out. Here in the third inning. Fastball downstairs, can't find the zone. And a leadoff walk for DC China.
DC China's been able to create some traffic on the base paths, but once Sanchez, it seems like once he gets that runner on, he starts to hone in on what he wants to do, whether it be mechanics or whether it be mentality, and that's where he starts to go. So maybe he almost should start going to the stretch. That's where he has had most of his success.
Sanchez walked the leadoff batter last inning. Owen Stevenson then struck out the side. And right here against Leon the Min, he's got a runner on, no one out, with the number 10 batter up. And Min hitting 182 so far. Again, one of a handful of DC China batters looking to get things clicking, looking to get back on the winning side of things. And he's got back-to-back games with a hit right now, and he's got a 1-1 count with one on. Sanchez looks back over to first, kicks and fires. Foul ball going back over to the concession stand.
A hit and run on for China, a little bit of a delayed reaction at first from Yang. I don't mind that at all. It's still a close ball game here, Steven, but sometimes you have to force the action and force the defense to make a play, so I don't mind that call at all in that situation.
It's something they haven't been able to do yet. They haven't been able to manufacture runs. They haven't been able to string two hits together, and that's not going to do it there. Fastball gets him looking on the 1-2 pitch. And Leon the Min strikes out looking, and we've got one out in the top of the order due up.
4 strikeouts now for Sanchez. His fastest pitch of the day at 84. Beautifully located on the outside corner and well received behind the plate by Quadras again.
Hushin skies that one way up into right field. Camping under that is House. Second out of the inning, and with 2 outs, Pen Yizan coming up. Yizan grounded out to first base last time around. 3-1 putout. He's got Owen Stevenson on, he's got Young Chun Kwong up with 2 outs. Sanchez looking back at Chun Kwong. Fires down to the home plate. First pitch strike fouled off. Another fastball by Sanchez, who so far this inning, he wasn't really leaning on it for the first 2, but now he's started to establish it a little bit more. Right around 50% fastball. First 2 innings, he was really relying on the couple breaking pitches, tried to change the timing up. He's even dropped the arm angle a little bit. But right here, it seems like all business right here, just straight fastball. He's thrown a couple breaking balls in here, but has not changed the timing up a ton. 0-1 pitch. Fires in the breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 1-1.
You know, the timing's being very similar. It could rear its ugly head later in this game, but what helps it out is that he's also really quick to the plate, around a 1-2-5, 1-2-8 right now for Sanchez, so it makes it that much harder, especially as a lefty.
1-1 pitch. Reaches out for it, skies it into center field, and coming over from right, House is going to take that for the 3rd out. Still 2-0. MLB China DC hoping to keep the rush off the board for the top of the 4th inning. We'll be right back.
There's something winning in the Agua. Catch all the action at 360 Sports at Agua Caliente Casinos. Watch your favorite teams on our giant wraparound screens. See live scores on the LED sports ticker. Win big with our bar top games and enjoy great twists on bar food favorites. And with 3 premier casino locations, 360 Sports is the ultimate fan experience. For more information, visit aguacalientecasinos.com.
Back here for the top of the 4th inning as we've got our umpires running across the field now, and a couple good games going on right now. MLB DC China down 2-0 against the Rush right now, and over on the backfield, Jacks up 2-1 in the top of the 5th. Looks like Johnny Young started for the Jacks over there, coming off a rough start, and he's doing well so far. And first pitch to Alec Bautista, hitting for his 2nd time today, hitting for a strike. Bautista, slow roller to 3rd, throw down to 1st. Can't get him there. Throw took U-ton off the bag, and that's going to be an E5 again.
It's just a really tough look because it is a hard play that he was able to make. He ranges to his left, and you had the splits that were being that happened at first base and the pick at the same time. And all of that goes right, and still it's a good call on the other end. Did look like his foot came off the bag just at the last time. It's a brutal break right now for MLB DC China, who's really hanging with the Rush right now.
DC China with another leadoff base runner, 3rd of the game here in the 4th inning. China hasn't had a clean inning so far, and they're facing off against Nathan Cunningham, the 10-hitter. Cunningham had a single in the 2nd. Watches a breaking ball get away from Ching Kwong, who's going to keep that within reason to him and keep Alec Bautista at 1st.
It's all about a first read when you're at 1st in that situations, but Bautista understands that with nobody out and the top of the order due up after Cunningham, taking a risk, and you can't make the out at second base.
Bautista runs, throw down to 2nd, not going to happen. Perfect read by Bautista, had the perfect jump, and it's a 2-1 count.
That points to what I was just talking about, Steven. You don't make that jump unless you are very confident in your read. Bautista not confident in the first. He says okay on the second one, a little more on his toes. Once it hits the dirt, he takes off, and it's a big 90 feet for the Rush.
2-1 count to Nathan Cunningham with a runner in scoring position. Cunningham swings right through the breaking ball upstairs. And we've seen it from a lot of pitchers in the PSCL. They haven't been able to really get a full handle on that breaking ball. A lot of them have ended up upstairs, and it's been really 50-50 so far on whether they've got punished on it. That breaking ball gets out of the zone again. 3-2 count. No outs. Nathan Cunningham at the plate. Alec Bautista at 2nd base after stealing it, with the top of the lineup coming up after Cunningham. Sung-Ja Chi fires in a ball, and that's another walk for the Rush.
This is where if you're Zach Novus, you really have to key in on cashing out. You have left 7 runners on base, and we're here in the top of the 4th. This score could be a lot worse than it shows. And now with Anderson coming back up after already being 2 for 2, this is a spot where the Rush really can make it hurt against DC China.
Top of the Rush lineup coming up. It's Hunter Anderson. That one goes outside. It's ball 1.
Looks like he was squaring around to bunt. And Zach Novus's team has shown the ability to play small ball. It's not usually a typical trait of a summer ball team, but the Rush have been coming and playing to win. That's why they're in the spot that they are.
And again, it's the thing that DC China hasn't been able to is Smacks that one right up the middle. Almost could have doubled him up. Now it's a question of if it's on the transfer. And what looks like one of the really weird situation right here. Don't know if they've got him doubled up. Looks like, did they call Anderson's hit out on the fly? Both runners are trying to advance.
And he's already out at.
They throw it into left field. Anderson or Bautista should be out at third base already. They've tagged him multiple times. Nathan Cunningham should also be out because they tagged him while he was just running in between the bases.
So let's break this down real quick, Steven. A hard shot off of the bat of Anderson. It is corralled at second base, we think, but then it falls out of the glove. At that point, both runners, when you're talking about Cunningham and Bautista being at second, Cunningham at first, they both start to retreat as if the line drive is caught, but they don't rule it as a catch. They're saying that it was free, I think, but now you're starting to see the exchange signal being given by our field umpire.
Again, one of the weirder plays we've seen all year. I mean, it looked like it was a clean catch and just fell out on the exchange, and then both runners froze up kind of in the middle of the base paths. They were both tagged multiple times. And then it was almost disregarded. Alec Bautista went back to second, stood there for a while. Nathan Cunningham was walking over to second and stood a couple feet from the plate for a little while. No one was paying attention to him. Since then, Hunter Anderson has already gone back to the dugout. He's already back in the dugout.
Which is interesting because that's the only out that he wasn't tagged. So Carlos Hernandez signaled that Bautista was out at third, but now it looks like they are saying that it was a catch. So they're saying no catch, Steven. There's only one out, and both those runners move up. That's a tough break for MLB DC China.
EJ, I'm going to be completely honest. I have no idea how to rule this.
I'm the official scorer, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, we've got one out somehow, and Danny Martinez coming up with a 1-0 count now. And again, I just confused as to how Hunter Anderson got out, but they both advanced.
So I'm thinking they're saying it's on the exchange. We're going to go down as a L4, so because the catch was made, and now they're talking about the exchange. So I think that's how they're saying Anderson is out. But they're saying that neither tag was in a spot to where Bautista or Cunningham can be ruled out.
You don't see it a ton in baseball. 1-1 pitch. Off the end of the bat, almost hits our field umpire, gets into the gap, coming around the bases. Both runners, they'll both score. RBI single. Alec Bautista and Nathan Cunningham both score. Danny Martinez at first. Throw gets away again, but Martinez stays there. It's 4-0 now.
Well, you knew once this ruling happened that something was going to go wrong for DC China. Again, it's a tough break, but Martinez does just a beautiful job of sitting on a breaking pitch on the outside corner that may have been a ball, but he stays on it long enough to where he's still able to flick his barrel out and send it to the big part of the field. It's a huge 2 runs for the Rush.
Will Dalton coming up with 1 out, 1 on, and a 4-0 lead right now facing off against Sung Ja Chi. Ja Chi's first pitch, driven out into left field, chasing after it is Yi Zhan. Hauls that in and throwing back to first. They might double it up here. And the throw to first is bobbled by Yuton. He can't corral that in, and what should have been an easy double play only results in 1 out.
I don't think Martinez knew how many outs there were, and for good reason after the entire ruling of the situation we just had. But he took off. I don't think he realized that there was one out on the scoreboard, and we hadn't had any pushback from William Macareno or Carlos Hernandez. So we had it right up here. It's just to see if he went back, and he did not go back and retouch second, Steven.
So fly out to second, or fly out to left. Danny Martinez was all the way around second, quarter way to third, runs back, doesn't even touch second base. And after Seung-Ja Chi was already set at the plate, he throws back down to second while Martinez is on first base. It's the out there because, again, Martinez never touched second base coming back around. One of the strangest innings you'll ever see in PSCL play or baseball in general. But more importantly, the rush going into the bottom of the fourth, up 1-0. We'll be right back.
There's something winning in the Agua. Catch all the action at 360 Sports at Agua Caliente Casinos. Watch your favorite teams on our giant wraparound screens. See live scores on the LED sports ticker. Win big with our bar top games and enjoy great twists on bar food favorites. And with 3 premier casino locations, 360 Sports is the ultimate fan experience. For more information, visit aguacalientecasinos.com.
Hey Power Baseball fans, looking to hit a home run against pests in your home? Rudy's Pest Control is your winning choice. Rudy's Flex 80/90 Pest Control Plan offers effective and affordable protection with just 5 visits a year instead of the usual 12, so you'll have more time to do what you love. Visit rudyspest.com or call 760-746-PEST and declare, heck no, 12's gotta go. Rudy's Pest Control is your home run choice, so get started today.
Think of the highest quality you can imagine. Now, think higher.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $29.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
Bottom of the fourth inning, Rush up 4-0 after one of the strangest innings I've ever seen watching baseball. Alec Bautista reaches on a throwing error from third base, stole second base, or stole third base. He scored. Then Nathan Cunningham walked. And then what should have been a line drive up the middle to second base, that wasn't caught apparently by Danny Martinez. Both Bautista and Cunningham caught clueless there, standing up the middle in between bases. Both were tagged, both were ruled safe though. They both advanced to second and third. And then right after that, Will Dayton hit a liner to left field, was caught and should have had Martinez doubled up there after he was halfway around second base. And that throw was bobbled at first, but they throw it back down to second because he never touched the bag. And right now in the fourth, it's Pen Yizan, or Zhao Luan, who just holds up there, leading things off down 1-2.
It's almost, I have no doubt that Martinez went and touched second on the way there. It's the issue of when you have a tag up.
2-2 pitch. Outside was full count.
Is when you have to, as soon as the ball is caught, go back and re-tag second base. And I think once he realized that he was caught in a bad position, he kind of skipped over it. And that's a really good catch by Carlos Hernandez, our field umpire.
Full count by Anthony Sanchez. Gets him looking. 5th strikeout of the day. Anthony Sanchez has everything working right now, and in a day where he hasn't been too precise, hasn't been able to exactly get the feel working on all of his pitches, he's been able to grind in and out of innings, and so far he's put up zeros.
This is starting to look a lot like his last start, where he just got stronger as the game wore on.
First pitch to to Lao Chung Shun. Finds the zone, it's strike one.
And that's where certain pitchers start to separate themselves. They find another gear once you get into the middle innings, especially when you don't have your ace stuff, and still are able to turn in quality starts.
Chung Shun watches strike two. And it's been a conversation going around. We've seen a lot of guys with similar starts to their outing, or they'd go out in the first and give up a handful of runs, like we saw the Blue Sox do yesterday, or not yesterday, but on Sunday with Myers, and he managed to get through complete game there. And Anthony Sanchez with another strikeout. It's 6 on the day.
He's just finding that rhythm. He goes from an 84-mile-an-hour fastball to a 69-mile-an-hour curveball, and both of them coming out of the same arm slot. Just gets tougher and tougher, especially for as good of hitters as this middle-of-the-order DC China lineup has been. Stevenson really being one of the ones that has seen it well, but this is the peak of Sanchez when you're talking about how well he pitches into these middle innings.
Owen Stevenson with a 1-0 count. He walked in the second inning, and for MLB China, they're excited if he could get things going. He's obviously one of the biggest guys in the PSCL at 6'4", 245. And it's quite the intimidating presence that you could have in that box out of Southwestern University. Right now hitting .222 with a 1-1 count. Fastball outside, and again, a lot of these pitchers, they haven't had their ace stuff, but they've just been able to grind through the innings. They've been able to make their fielders work, and they've been able to get through quality outings. 2-1 pitch, chopper liner down the third base line, rolls all the way into deep left field. Owen Stevenson sliding into second base with a hustle double.
Ball's not hit all too hard, but what he does do is he stays on this curveball, and even though if your body goes forward, keeping your hands back on a swing like that is important to still trying to get the barrel there. Stevenson does a good job. It's out of the reach of another fielder, and this is where DC China, again, they've had a base runner on in every inning, but they just have yet to cash in. This would be a huge spot if they're able to take advantage.
And it's, again, what's been so impressive about Anthony Sanchez so far. He hasn't worked a single clean inning yet, but just 2 hits against him on the day. And he's put up no runs so far. 1-0 now against Won Koo-yen. Struck out in the second inning. He's, again, 1 of 6 so far victims against Anthony Sanchez. 1-0 pitch. Down low, it's 2 balls. Sanchez looking to finish 4 clean. 2-0 pitch. Fouled back into the DC China dugout.
We're starting to see Sanchez start to utilize a little bit of that two-seam as well. That fastball coming in at 81, but 14 inches of horizontal break, and that's why you saw the tie-up on that swing when it should be a hitter's count and you're trying to get your A swing off.
Anthony Sanchez fires in ball 3. Sanchez looking for his 3rd win of the year. Has 1 against the A's, 1 against the Blue Sox, trying to get 1 against DC China right now. Push them within a game of first place. 3-1 pitch. Outside ball 4. Another walk. Won Koo-yen to first. Owen Stevenson at second. Wong Yu-tun coming up. He struck out in the second inning. Same inning when Anthony Sanchez struck out the side. He's got 2 so far this inning. 6 on the day. Fastball in there for strike 1. Sanchez working out of the stretch. Another fastball gets the outside corner. Strike 2, 0-2, 2 outs. 2 on in the Rush, up 4-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Anthony Sanchez, outstanding so far, and could get through 4 clean innings right here. Sanchez, 0-2 pitch. Outside, ball 1.
If he's able to get out of this with a strikeout, don't be surprised if you see some emotion out of Sanchez. He understands that he might have dug his own hole here, but he's been one of the more passionate players that we've seen in the PSCL, especially punctuated after a couple of these strikeouts.
Sanchez fires. Swing and a miss. It's 7 on the day from Anthony Sanchez. Strikes out the side again and works out of the jam. Sanchez threw 4 innings, no runs against MLB DC China. We'll be back for the 5th.
There's something winning in the Agua. Catch all the action at 360 Sports at Agua Caliente Casinos. Watch your favorite teams on our giant wraparound screens. See live scores on the LED sports ticker. Win big with our bar top games and enjoy great twists on bar food favorites. And with 3 premier casino locations, 360 Sports is the ultimate fan experience. For more information, visit aguacalientecasinos.com.
Hey, Power Baseball fans. Looking to hit a home run against pests in your home? Rudy's Pest Control is your winning choice. Rudy's Flex 80/90 Pest Control Plan offers effective and affordable protection with just 5 visits a year instead of the usual 12, so you'll have more time to do what you love. Visit rudyspest.com or call 760-746-PEST and declare, heck no, 12's gotta go. Rudy's Pest Control is your home run choice, so get started today.
Think of the highest quality you can imagine. Now, think higher.
Try our big, beautiful all-day menu with more than 70 delicious dishes and our award-winning 3-course brunch for only $29.99. At Palm Springs' most popular restaurant, there's always a party at Lulu.
Top of the 5th inning here in Palm Springs. MLB DC China against the Rush. Rush up 4-0 after Anthony Sanchez has struck out 7 through 4 innings. He struck out the side twice, and he has been outstanding. Daniel Quadras due up to lead things off, fouls it over the net. Quadras 1 for 2 so far. Had an RBI double in the first, lined out to second in the 3rd. And now here in the 5th with no on against Songjia Chi. He's got a 1-1 count. Fouls it back off of Ching Kwong's mask.
A little touch of sportsmanship and maybe just catcher on catcher love as Quadras, who's also been doing the catching today, reached down and gave a little fist bump. Catcher's going through a lot, especially with having to catch multiple games in a week, but it's the life you sign up for, and Quadras acknowledging his counterpart.
It's a good job by our home plate umpire, too, having the field just go step away, give Ching Kwong a second to collect himself after a foul ball off the mask. Can't feel too good, but right now, Songjia Chi with a 1-2 pitch against Daniel Quadras, who swings and misses at that. It's another strikeout. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Santiago Duarte. He's walked in the first, reached on an error in the 3rd.
Duarte has been one of the more fun players, at least from my perspective, to watch from this Rush team because he's so good gap to gap. Had 2 doubles last week in the win over the Bootleggers and has really started to show off, and he was in that uncommitted game as well, taking multiple good swings. So he's a guy to keep your eye out on once we start our PSCL All-Star voting ballots.
And those will be coming out soon. Voting is due sometime this week. I think it's Thursday, and those players will go on to play against the Palm Springs Power on 4th of July next week. 1-1 count to Duarte. Again, Sung-Ja Chi out for his 3rd inning of work after Yuo Yan went 2 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, and he walked 2 and struck out 2. 1-1 pitch. Inside, catches the corner, though. Strike 2.
Duarte didn't agree, but it was a really good call by our home plate umpire, William Macareno. Took a little off of his usual, but the fastball still reaching the mid-70s. Makes it a lot tougher on Duarte to get a barrel on it.
It looks like if Sung-Ja Chi gets into any trouble here, this might be his last couple batters. 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Because MLB DC China's got 2 pitchers warming up in the pen right now. Neither one of them warming up particularly fast, but they'll be ready if they need him. 2-2 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Chopper to short. Bobbled there. Can he collect it? Throw down to first. In time. Nice 6-3 put out for DC China, who defensively, it's been an adventure so far through the first 4 2/3.
Well, I've mentioned it a couple of times on these broadcasts, whether it be for the Power or here in the PSCL. The infield here in Palm Springs plays just a little bit quick, and it's very natural when you talk about the environment that we're in. And it forces a couple of wonky hops and forces you to flip your glove, especially when you're not used to it. But staying with it is all that's really important, is able to still make a nice play.
2 outs for Christian Angulo. He's got a strike on him so far. Again, facing off against Sung-Ja Chi. Nobody on. If he can reach Nehemiah House coming up. Angulo, 0 for 1. He walked in the first. 0-1 pitch, well outside. One count to Christian Angulo, who gets that one in off the hands. High fly ball into right field, and that one's dropped. Running down to second is Angulo, and he's going to be safe there. Schwann battling the sun, couldn't haul it in right field, and that's going to be another error for MLB DC China. E9 there, and Angulo in scoring position for Nehemiah House.
Just unfortunate in right field, because this was looks to be a very clean inning, and getting out of it would have been huge as far as getting back to the bat racks, getting your defense off the field. Now you have to deal with House, who already had a single in the 3rd.
Now it looks like there's a lot more activity over in that bullpen, as that's a sharp grounder down right at the guys. Nehemiah House, 1 for 2 right now. Singled in the 3rd inning. Did not score, though. Rush up 4-0. 7 hits, no errors against MLB DC China with no runs, 1 hit, 3 errors. 0-1 pitch. Off of Ching Kwong. And Christian Angulo is going to take 3rd standing up. Zach Novus, the 3rd base coach over there. Happy with Angulo's efforts. He's got a runner 90 feet away from a 5-0 lead. Here in the 5th inning, 1-1 pitch. House watches ball 2. And the Rush, standing at 7-4 record, just 1 win away from being within one game of the Lumberjacks in first place in the Southern Division.
That's going to be a matchup that we have to see going all the way down. The A's in third place, sitting at 500 now. They're not out of it yet, and they are typically staying most ball games as one of the leading offenses in the PSCL.
The A's have been playing good ball lately in the 2-2 pitch, outside full count. A's took down this MLB DC China team a couple days ago, and what was really one of the toughest games of the year for DC China. They worked through 4 innings, just 1 over the minimum, then gave up 15 in the 5th inning, and that one's going to get away from Jia Chin. And that's going to be another walk. Runners on the corners. Alan Serrano coming up. But we got a meeting on the mound first. Might be Sung Ja Chi's last batter. And EJ, if this isn't his last batter, which doesn't look like it is, what do you think he was saying in that meeting?
Well, the sprint out to the mound tells me that he didn't want this to be a long meeting. This is essentially a checkup almost. You look at your pitcher and you ask, are you good? 99.5% of pitchers are going to say, heck yeah, I am. And so from there, I don't think there's too much strategy involved. It's more just a breather and to let him know, hey, this is your last batter, empty the tank. And I really like that move, especially when you know, any pitcher can see there's double barreling down in the bullpen right now, so you can acknowledge it and at least know that these are your last couple of pitches. You don't want to leave anything on the table.
Especially here, too, when the bullpen right down the line and you can hear the pop of the glove while you're on the mound pitching. And first pitch to Alan Serna gets away. It's 1-0.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Nehemiah House take off on maybe a delayed steal or something here pretty soon. He has a shorter lead, but he's also getting an exaggerated secondary.
Nehemiah House on first, and that one's driven into left field. Going to get down. 1 run will score. Christian Angulo from third. Nehemiah House to second, and Alan Serna with this RBI single.
He tried to empty the tank. It was a fastball that's been around where it's been. But it's just on the outside corner and probably a little farther off than Serna would like to admit, but he does just enough to flick his bat out. And once you get the bat head out, you just let the barrel do the rest of the work. And it's a big hit and a big run for the Rush.
A big run, and with the way that Anthony Sanchez has been pitching today as Alec Bautista steps in for his third at-bat of the morning. First pitch ball. With the way that Sanchez has been pitching today, I mean, for the Rush, that 8th win of the year is 2 innings away, and it's just so close they can almost taste it. 1-0, 2 outs, 2 on. Nehemiah House on second, Alan Serna on first. Breaking ball finds the zone, strike 1. And for Sung Ja Chi, you got to think this is either his last batter or last inning. If another run scores, you'd almost certainly think it's his last batter. But he's got 2 on with 2 outs. 1-1 pitch. Off the end of the bat, down the line. And that's foul. Looked like a close call, but it's called foul. Both runners will go back, and we'll do the 1-2 count again. The Rush up 5-0 here in the 5th. Scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the 4th, 1 here in the 5th, and that pitch almost gets away from Chin Kwong. 2-2 count.
Kwong has been working as hard as anybody that we've seen. He's just gotten unlucky with a couple of hops in here in this dirt, but he's still trying to keep his pitchers in the game right now, and his blocking technique is very, very well executed, and you can tell he has the fundamentals down when it comes to keeping these pitches around him.
2-2 count to gets outside ball 3 to Alec Bautista. Grounded into a double play in the 2nd inning. Reached on an error in the fourth. Stole second base. Still without a hit, though. He scored a run, though. Full count pitch. Runners are going. And that one's down the line, foul. And for Nathan Bautista, he's got Nehemiah House and Alan Serna on the bases right now. Both of them can fly, and you'd think if the outfielder's got to run after anything here more than just a couple steps, with both of them going, you can almost assure 2 runs.
All the more important to try to keep this pitch down the lower quadrant of the zone and force something on the ground and allow your defense just to try to make a play for you.
3-2 pitch. Again, runners will go. Almost try to pick back to second, but House gets back there in time. Bautista and the rest of this Rush team have worked so many deep counts. And right here, another full count, 2 outs. There they go. And that pitch in the dirt, ball 4. Bases loaded for Nathan Cunningham, who's got a single and a walk, scored both times.
I think this will be the end of the line. Might have given him an extra batter to try to get out of himself, but it looks like this will be the day with 2 outs in the 5th.
We'll be right back while the new pitcher warms up.
Think of the highest quality you can imagine. Now, think higher.
Outdoor living in the Coachella Valley is spectacular, and Tessera is the premier builder of outdoor living spaces in the desert. Nobody does it better than Tessera. From one end of this valley to the other, from Palm Springs to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, to Indio and La Quinta. For 35 years, we've created the ultimate in outdoor living, landscaping, pools, and patios, so you and your family can enjoy each other. Live well. Live Tessera.
Welcome back. Still top of the 5th here in Palm Springs for the PSCL game. 1 of 2 in the doubleheader. Rush against MLB DC China. And China is down 5-0 here with the bases loaded and Nathan Cunningham up. We've got a new pitcher. Sungjia Chi's day is done, and Dun La Yen comes in with the bases loaded and 2 outs against Nathan Cunningham. First pitch skied down the line, and that just gets foul enough for Yutun to not be able to haul it in against the net there.
Not a ton of velocity on Deng's fastball, but he does have a little bit of a herky-jerky motion. Once he gets up to this apex with his leg lift, he's a little more jerky than most pitchers.
0-1 pitch. Floats a breaking ball in there. It's ball one. And for this DC China team, not a ton of velocity here so far today. Right now, first two pitches, 69 and 62. 1-1 pitch to Cunningham. Off the end of the bat, might have gotten his hands, but looks like that's going to be a tough foul ball right there.
Now Zach Novus is going to have a word with William Macareno to talk about this. And just because a batter, Steven, reacts to it, it does hurt. But it also, if it's hitting, especially for a right-hander, if it hits that left hand, that's the one that's around the knob to where you could still get that wooden sound and still feel the impact of a pitch that's coming towards you.
What was essentially not even a check swing, just getting the hands out of the way of a changeup so you don't get hit on that. Couldn't get him all the way out of the way and hits off the bottom of the knob, and it's a tough way to take a strike there. Right now it's his right hand that's the one bothering him. Hopefully he's okay. He's taking a couple hacks right here as he's taking his time getting back into the box. Zach Novus will go back down to third, and Cunningham back in the box with a 1-2 count, 2 outs, bases loaded. Rush up 5-0 right now. 1-2 pitch. Out of the zone, ball 2. Nehemiah House on third, Alan Serna on second, and Alec Bautista on first. He was the last batter that Seung-Ja Chi faced. 2-2 pitch. High again. Full count. And once again, the Rush able to work a long count against Dun La Yen. The first batter he faces goes full. Runners will go. 3-2 pitch. Up in there, off the hands. Chasing after it, and that's going to go into the stands.
Goes back to the fastball, and at this point, Steven, in the game, you're down 5 runs. The bases are already loaded. You don't want to walk a run in. This is where it's time for Deng to challenge Cunningham and make Cunningham beat you.
Cunningham, he's got a full count right now. Again, 2 outs. Bases are loaded. And that one's fouled hard into the China dugout. Hopefully that didn't hit anyone. Looked like it might have just got off the fence, but number 8 for DC China came jumping out of his seat. That was Joe Shin Pin. Payoff pitch. High in there to center field. Ku Yen going back on it. And he'll take that, no big deal. Dun La Yen comes in and puts out the fire for DC China. But the Rush put another run on the board. They're up 5-0 going into the bottom of the 5th.
How do you define adventure? Riding the world's largest rotating tram car? Taking in SoCal's awe-inspiring views? Exploring over 50 miles of pristine wilderness? Enjoying casual or fine dining at 8,500 feet? Discovering our history? Experiencing our scenic trails? Getting that perfect souvenir? Whatever your adventure, you'll find it at the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway. Adventure at its peak. Begin your adventure at pstramway.com.
Family setting, you know, we come and we get into conversation, and it's comfortable here is what I guess I'll say. It's comfortable.
The hot cocoa has whipped cream and sprinkles in the whipped cream in the hot cocoa.
Very family oriented. You know, they cater to the kids. They got the coloring books and crayons, and they have kid-sized stuff about almost for everything that you would want. So young and old, everybody can enjoy it.
It's the best.
Made from scratch memories. Elmer's.
We just got our best ever ratings from U.S. News and World Report. We're the #1 hospital in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. High performing in 17 common procedures from joint replacements to heart attack care. And for the first time, national ranking as high performing in 3 adult specialties. We're proud of these ratings, but what matters most, as always, is how we rate with you.
Learn more at eisenhowerhealth.org/awards.
Bottom of the 5th inning here in Palm Springs. 5-0 Rush right now. Looking there for their 8th win of the year. Could be within a game of first place, depending on how the backfield game with the Lumberjacks goes. And right now, Anthony Sanchez back on the mound, and he's been cruising all day. Through 4 innings, he's got 7 strikeouts, and he works ahead in the count already against Lou Schwa. Lou Schwan struck out already in the 2nd inning. Takes ball 1. Looks like there's a pinch hitter, actually. It's Tai Jane Fung. Jay Fung takes time. Takes a couple practice swings. 0-2 count. Fastball misses the zone there. It's 1-2. One-two pitch. Outside, 2-2. And EJ, this is a really interesting team, the MLB DC China team. They're trying to develop a lot of players for the upcoming Olympics. Trying to get a team going for 2028. So that pitch is in the dirt. It's 3-2. And for their head coach, Ray Cheng, he's had quite the story. He worked his way through the minor leagues. He was really close to being one of the first Chinese player in Major League Baseball. And right before rosters expanded in September, he broke his leg and never made it, but he did face off against Shohei Ohtani in the World Baseball Classic. And Jane Fung is the 8th victim of an Anthony Sanchez strikeout today.
It's a really inspiring story that even though he wasn't able to, now he's just trying to extend those experiences onto his players. And that's what you see a lot from guys that as soon as they finish their playing careers, they want to have those experiences be passed on to the guys that they're able to coach. And we've been lucky to have him out here. He's as nice a guy that you have to talk to. He's been very kind to us media personnel. I know our analytics guys, and with Ethan up here as well. We can't say enough about the positive impact he's made since he's found his way here to Palm Springs.
Looks like it's another pinch hitter for China. It's number 24. Junwei Shin coming in, taking over for Yongqing Quan. Backstop for China. Junwei Shin with a 1-1 count. Sanchez fires a fastball right down the middle. It's been that kind of day for Sanchez so far. Everything's been working to the point where he can afford that pitch. He's thrown that kind of pitch a handful of times, and it's just frozen these Chinese hitters. 1-2 pitch. Sanchez outside, ball 2.
My goodness, 83 on the fastball. That's not what's crazy about it. 17 inches of horizontal break on the pitch out of the hand of Sanchez, just showing that you have to stay on that fastball as long as you can because it will leak on the outside half.
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, and Sanchez with 9 strikeouts on the day. One away if he could put down Leon the Min. If he could put him down again, that'll be striking out the side for the 3rd time today. Min already struck out in the 3rd inning. First pitch. Breaking ball right down the middle, too, and he hung that one. Min threw off and almost stepped completely out of the box thinking it was coming after him. A 1 pitch. Fastball high.
There's a little action right now in the Rush bullpen, so Sanchez, I wouldn't be surprised to see him come out next inning, but he's probably going to be a little more assertive in trying to take care of his last hitter of the inning.
1-1 pitch, outside ball 2, and for Sanchez, if he can finish this inning off, he's in line for his 3rd win of the year and just continuing to lower that ERA. By the end of this game, it's getting close to that 1 mark. He started with a 1.64 coming into today. 2-1 pitch. Fastball blew it by him, swung on and missed, and it's 2-2, 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Anthony Sanchez looking for strikeout number 9. And he gets it there. Fastball again, 85, top of the zone. Anthony Sanchez, take a bow. 5 scoreless, 9 Ks, strikes out the side again. And the Rush going into the 6th inning. They're 6 defensive outs away from their 8th win of the year. We'll be right back.
Whether you're building, landscaping, renovating, refreshing, or simply researching, rent the right size tools for your size jobs. In store, online, or in-app at Sunbelt Rentals, where tools rule.
Two locations with something for everyone. Stuffed Pizza Bar and Grill.
Use financial packet to me was? Top of the 6th inning, Rush over MLB DC China 5-0, and that's thanks in no small part to the man on the mound, Anthony Sanchez, through 5 innings, 10 Ks, just 2 hits, and it's been utter dominance against DC China so far. Dunlai Yen, after he put out the fire in the 5th inning, came in the top of the 5th with 2 outs, bases loaded against Nathan Cunningham, and managed to get him to fly out to center. Now it's the top of the order, though, so Yen in the thick of it right now, facing off against Hunter Anderson, who lines that one right off the middle. It's another single for him, 3rd of the day.
Hunter Anderson came into today being one of the top hitters, 400 plus on the season here in the PSCL. He just continues to do what he's doing. He only has 1 extra base hit, but he's just done that so well, and keeping the barrel flat and not trying to do too much.
Anderson on first. Danny Martinez coming up. He's got 2 hits, and there's the third. 1 and 2 batters for the Rush combined. 6 for 8. With 6 singles, they've scored a couple runs. 2 RBIs off of Martinez. And everything's been working for the top of the Rush lineup. Coming up, Will Dayton looking for his first hit of the morning. Dayton struck out and he's flown out to left twice. Hunter Anderson just tearing up the PSCL right now. I mean, 789 average after that hit. We see some big numbers here in the PSCL. A lot of guys hitting in the upper 3s, lower 4s. But I don't think I've seen anyone hitting over 5, 6, even 700. But Hunter Anderson pushing 800 right now. 1-0 pitch to Dayton. Throw back to second. Anderson's safe there. And Will Dalton still looking for his first hit. Could drive in a runner here. But more importantly for the Rush, they're 6 defensive outs away from win number 8. 1-0 pitch. It's 2-0 now. Breaking ball in the dirt.
Really, you're just trying to put the exclamation point on another win for the Rush after a couple of games early on in the season that didn't go their way. They've really started to find a nice rhythm.
Throw back down to second. Gets away, and Anderson is not going to run down to third. But the throw down to first has Danny Martinez in a pickle, and that's going to get away. Both runners are safe. Looked like they had Danny Martinez hung out to dry as he was about 45 feet away from first base going back. Throw goes back, and they throw down to second. Can't corral that in there. Looked like they might have thought they had a force one. There wasn't one there. And after another error by China, it's 2 in runner in scoring position for Will Dayton. Who swings right through the fastball upstairs. 2-1 count in a game that's been confusing. It's been strange. It's been wacky. I mean, we've seen everything today. 2-1 pitch. Chopper off the end of the bat. Goes into right field. 1 run will score. Coming around third is Martinez trying for the second run. Throw gets him in time. And Will Dayton goes into second. So RBI single right there. He's coming back. Get back his leg guard. RBI single. Rush up 6-0 after a strange decision by Danny Martinez trying to score from second base on a single that wasn't hit too hard. Hunter Anderson scores. Will Dalton at second base, and it's 1 out for Daniel Quadras. Quadras watches a fastball catch the bottom of the zone.
Honestly, it's I think a fun green light from Zach Novus at third. You already have the 5-0 lead. Your offense has put up 12 hits, and you force them to make a play. And MLB DC China, give them credit. They had a good cutoff play, a good relay home. And at that point, you're really not worrying too much about the consequences with the lead that you've built.
Yeah, they're playing with house money right now, up 6-0, just 6 defensive outs away from another win. And it seems like everything's gone their way so far until then. But they've got a runner in scoring position. It's Will Dalton. Second pitch to Quadras. Out over the head of Yu-Tun. Gets into right field, and Martinez is going to score. I'm sorry, that was Will Dalton who missed home plate. Throw goes high. And Daniel Quadras is going to be on second with another RBI single. 7-0 Rush here in the 6th inning. Rush have 13 hits already. Quadras at second. He's going to get a pinch runner.
Sully Winter will be coming in. That might be a courtesy run more than a pinch run. You know, in the PSCL, you have an opportunity to do courtesy run for your pitcher should they be hitting or your catcher. So Zach Nova's deploying a rule that is meant to keep these catchers fresh and allow them to still do what they do throughout the rest of the summer.
Sully Winter on second, and Santiago Duarte is going to take first after getting drilled. Runners on first and second for Christian Angulo. Angulo's still without a hit today. He's reached twice, once on an error, once on a walk. Flew out to first base on a foul ball, and he's going to see a new pitcher. It's Dun La Yen's last batter, and we'll be right back with a new man on the mound.
Think of the highest quality you can imagine. Now, think higher.
Outdoor living in the Coachella Valley is spectacular, and Tessera is the premier builder of outdoor living spaces in the desert. Nobody does it better than Tessera. From one end of this valley to the other, from Palm Springs to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, to Indio and La Quinta. For 35 years, we've created the ultimate in outdoor living, landscaping, pools, and patios, so you and your family can enjoy each other. Live well. Live Tessera.
Welcome back, 7-0 ball game here in Palm Springs, and we've got a new pitcher on the mound for MLB DC China, facing off against Christian Angulo. It's Owen Stevenson. Big righty coming in on the mound, and for China, it's one of the hardest throwers they have. He just threw that one in there at 83 for ball one. .82 up and in for ball two.
It's going to be a matter of Owen's able to get downhill. He's missed high with his first couple of pitches. Really needs to focus on reaching and not allow some further damage to give your team a puncher's chance finishing off this game.
And they need everything they can get right now. Down 7-0 in the bottom of the sixth inning. And the Rush are 3 outs away from, or 6 outs away from another win. As that one gets away, it's a 4-pitch walk. Bases are loaded. Daniel Quadras on third. Sully Winter on third. He's pinch running for Quadras. Santiago Duarte at second. Christian Angulo at first for Nehemiah House. House has a hit, and he reached on a walk. He's ahead 1-0. That one gets the corner for strike one. After 5 straight balls, Owen Stevenson finds the zone. It's 1-1, 1 out. Bases are loaded, though. Pitch gets away from the backstop. Coming in to score is Solly Wenner, and another run for the Rush. Chin Kwong couldn't haul it in there. A fastball blown away just out of his reach to his right. And another wild pitch proves costly for MLB DC China. It's 8-0. With 2 in scoring position for Nehemiah House. 2-1 pitch, catches the top of the zone. 2-2 for the Rush, who have 8 runs on 13 hits and no errors. China looking to put something on the board as that one goes high again. 3-2, and Owen Stevenson needs to find the zone.
Stevenson just right now having a tough time repeating his mechanics. One time his landing spot is different. The next time, you know, his release point is just a little bit off. It's all so much harder when you're coming out of the bullpen like that.
Full count pitch by Stevenson. Catches the corner, strike 3 looking. 2 outs here in the 6th.
Yeah, that's a really big strikeout, and, you know, Nehemiah is not too happy with the call. But in that situation, you have a pitcher that isn't finding the zone. You might start to see a little bit of an expansion of the strike zone. That's exactly what we start to see. So still Stevenson's 1 out away from nothing going on his record.
Stevenson first pitch to Serna. Chopper looked like it went off the plate and foul. 0-1. First batter that Stevenson started ahead of. For Dunlaw Yen, it's 2 innings, 6 hits. Right now he's got 3 against him. And that pitch low gets Serna fooled. He swings right on top of it. It's 0-2 count, 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Rush have already put up 3. Here's the pitch. Inside. Ball 1 to Alan Serna.
A mid-80s fastball. If you're still able to work both sides, this is where you can start to see a more effective Owen Stevenson. But first things first, you really have to focus in on finishing up this inning.
Owen Stevenson with the 1-2 pitch to Serna. Off the end of the bat, fouled back into the parking lot. Serna so far living on the fastball right now. He's just thrown 1 changeup. That was the 1 pitch at 80 miles an hour. Everything else has been sitting 82 to 85 right there. 1-2 pitch to Serna. Off the end of the bat, gets it to Owen Stevenson, who puts the glove up in desperation and underhands that to first. Gets out of the jam, and we're going to the bottom of the 6th. MLB China down 8. They need a late inning rally.
Building your business is no small undertaking, and you need the right team by your side. Whether you're just getting started or expanding nationwide, Pacific Premier Bank is here to support your business every step of the way. As your trusted banking partner, we can help guide you down the right path with customized solutions designed for your business. We'll help you achieve the success you deserve. Pacific Premier Bank. Let's build your future together.
Hey, Power Baseball fans. Looking to hit a home run against pests in your home? Rudy's Pest Control is your winning choice. Rudy's Flex 80/90 Pest Control Plan offers effective and affordable protection with just 5 visits a year instead of the usual 12, so you'll have more time to do what you love. Visit rudyspest.com or call 760-746-PEST and declare, heck no, 12's gotta go. Rudy's Pest Control is your home run choice, so get started today.
There's something winning in the Agua. Catch all the action at 360 Sports at Agua Caliente Casinos. Watch your favorite teams on our giant wraparound screens. See live scores on the LED sports ticker. Win big with our bar top games and enjoy great twists on bar food favorites. And with 3 premier casino locations, 360 Sports is the ultimate fan experience. For more information, visit aguacalientecasinos.com.
Bottom of the 6th inning here in Palm Springs, and Ty Phipps out on the mound for the Rush. Taking over after one of the better starts we've seen all year. Anthony Sanchez, 5 innings, no runs, just 2 hits, walked 3, and struck out 10. He had the MLB DC China hitters fooled on almost every pitch of the game. And he's here in the bottom of the 6th against the leadoff man. It's going to be Hush in. 0 for 2 so far, leading off the 6th inning. First pitch strike. Second pitch can't catch the corner after Quadras tried to pull it back. 1-1 count. Phipps gets strike 2 there on the foul ball, and so far this season he's had just 1 appearance so far. It was against MLB China, and he went 2 innings, allowed 1 run, and struck out 4. Walked 3, and that was in a 3-2 win. That one off the end of the bat into right field. MLB China leading off the inning with a single.
And all it takes was for Anthony Sanchez to come out. And they've, unfortunately, today just fell victim to, what a lot of teams have started to fall victim to, and it's the Anthony Sanchez show. And Phipps leaves a pitch that's just a little elevated there in the middle of the zone, just a little outside, and still coming in at 81, but it's so much different from a lefty that's tall in Sanchez. And Phipps a little shorter, about 5'11", 6 foot. He's still able to catch the zone in this first pitch.
Phipps ahead 0-1 right now and ahead 8-0. The game on the backfield has gone final. The Jacks have lost another game. Blue Sox keep rolling and they win 5-4. And it's back-to-back singles to start things off for MLB China here. Blue Sox with one of the closer games they've played all year against the first-place Jacks. And EJ, they've just steamrolled through the PSCL. They faced off against the Bootleggers not yesterday, but on Saturday, and that game they just throttled them. First pitch to the number 3 hitter, Zhao Luan. Luan coming up after Hush in and Pen Yi's on, led things off with back-to-back singles. And Luan already ahead 2-0 against Ty Phipps, who, again, coming in for Anthony Sanchez, who MLB China couldn't do anything against him. The fastball was working. It had him off time. That one's floated out in there, and running after it was Dalton. He can't haul that in. That one's going to go almost to the wall at the warning track. Coming around is Hush in. And MLB China, with 3 hits in a row to lead off the inning, has their first run of the game.
It's just such a tough play out there in left field because he has to reach across his body. That's why you're taught to try to be as soft as you are on your feet, because if you're taking some hard steps, your eye level continues to change and makes it almost that much harder. It feels like you're getting rocked while trying to make that play. It will go down as a hit, but it's a tough earned run for Phipps, already giving up his 3rd hit.
Ruled as a hit. Couldn't tell if that went off the glove. Looked like it might have got a piece of it. But it'll be a hit for MLB China. And coming up to bat is Leo Chung Shun. He's 0 for 2 so far. One of many who struck out to Anthony Sanchez. 1-0 pitch Looked like it caught a lot of the zone, but it's ruled ball 2. He's got 2 runners on second and third. Pen Yizan on third. Zhao Luan on second. And he swings right through the fastball there. It's strike 1.
It's important for Phipps in this situation. Look, you do have a 7-run lead, but now it's important to start getting some outs. You've started to leave a couple of pitches over the heart of the plate, and China's made you pay for it.
2-1 pitch, gets under that one. Floater into center field. Coming into it is Angulo. He's going to throw down home. No one's going to move. 1 out here in the 6th inning. Owen Stevenson coming up.
And Gulo doing just a nice job of making sure he had his momentum coming in. It was made a lot easier by the fact that it was a shallow pump fly, but still in that situation, making sure he gets the throw off, preventing any further runs from coming in. That's a big out there for Ty Phipps.
Owen Stevenson watches strike 1 down the middle. Stevenson came in last inning on the mound and walked a batter, struggled to find the zone, but managed to get out of it. And that one, sharp grounder to third, throw down to first, long one, gets him in time, but MLB China will trade that out and get a run. Pen Yizan scores on the fielder's choice. Owen Stevenson gets an RBI.
And Stevenson now adds to a 1-for-3 day. Actually, he 1-for-2 day. He walked in the second inning. So 1-for-2 with an RBI on a tough day on offense and still trying to just finish it out on the mound. Not much better you can do in the situation that you're in.
Won Kuyen steps in, and that's a first pitch strike from Phipps. And for Phipps, you got to really lock in here because it's a 6-run game. They're not out of it. You're not walking home with the win yet, but you've got 2 strikes and 2 outs here in the 6th. And as long as you can get 4 more defensive outs, they'll be taking home their 8th win of the year. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Phipps, after 3 straight hits to start the inning, allows 2 to score. And looks like that's going to be ruled final. Phipps closes it out for the Rush. They'll move on to their 8th win of the year. They're 1 game behind the Lumberjacks for first place in the Southern Division. MLB China continuing a tough season so far. They're 2-11 now, and whether it's close games or if it's been blowouts, they've been through all of it. And again, they've got confidence that they'll be able to get the hitting together. They've had spurts of the pitching. It's just they haven't had a game where everything's clicked.
No, and that's what this season is for MLB DC China, getting the exposure to a lot of reps against competition that you don't typically see. Still trying to, like you said, get used to the arsenal that's being used here in the United States. It's just been fun watching them. We're going to look forward to seeing them throughout the rest of the season as we get set for Game 2 today.
We'll have Game 2. It's Coyotes and Haymakers coming up. And for right now, thank you everyone for joining in. I'm Stephen Buxton. Again, for me, for Ethan, for everyone with us, for the Hall of Famer, E.J. Sanchez, we thank you for joining in, and we'll